In the early 20th century, a new age of progress and ambition emerged. It was an age of steel and steam, of ingenuity and enterprise, and at its heart stood a remarkable feat of human engineering, the RMS Titanic. Known as the unsinkable ship, the Titanic was a marvel of modern technology, a floating palace of luxury, and a symbol of human progress. But in the dark, icy waters of the North Atlantic, it would meet an untimely end that would shock the world forever. In 1909, construction of the Titanic began in Belfast, Ireland. Built by the White Star Line and designed by some of the greatest minds in naval engineering, it was intended to be the largest and most luxurious ship ever created. Over 3 years, thousands of men toiled to bring this vision to life, hammering and welding to create a ship that would boast unheard-of luxury and cutting-edge safety features. At 882 feet long and weighing over 46,000 tons, the Titanic was truly a floating city. With its 16 watertight compartments and advanced safety measures, the Titanic was touted as unsinkable. No expense was spared to create an interior that matched the grandest hotels, complete with Turkish baths, a swimming pool, and grand staircases. Every detail was designed to offer its passengers the pinnacle of elegance and comfort. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic set sail from Southampton, England, bound for New York. It carried over 2,200 souls from all walks of life, millionaires, immigrants, families, and crew members who took pride in working aboard the grand vessel. The ship was divided into 3 classes, each offering different levels of luxury, but even third class was more comfortable than most ships of the time. Among the passengers were famous names like John Jacob Astor IV, one of America's richest men, and Benjamin Guggenheim, as well as newcomers hoping for a fresh start in America. There was an air of excitement and optimism as the Titanic sailed across the Atlantic. Captain Edward Smith, the millionaire's captain, was at the helm. Having overseen countless journeys, he was trusted with commanding the most luxurious ship of his career. However, warnings about icebergs started to come in from nearby ships. Messages were sent to the Titanic, but they were not given high priority. The ship pressed on, maintaining its speed of 22 knots, eager to make headlines for a swift crossing. Little did anyone know those messages would hold the key to their survival. The Titanic was barreling towards an inevitable fate. It was April 14, 1912. The night was eerily calm, the stars bright, and the sea unusually still. At 11:40 p.m., lookout Frederick Fleet spotted a dark shape directly in the ship's path, an iceberg. He rang the warning bell and telephoned the bridge. "Iceberg, right ahead!" First Officer Murdoch ordered the engines to stop and attempted to steer the ship away, but it was too late. The iceberg scraped along the Titanic's starboard side, tearing through the steel hull and flooding 5 of the ship's watertight compartments. The ship was designed to stay afloat with 4 flooded compartments, but not 5. Down below, the engineers and crew worked frantically to assess the damage. Water surged into the ship's lower decks, and within minutes, Captain Smith realized the terrible truth. The Titanic was sinking. Thomas Andrews, the ship's designer, explained the catastrophic damage. The Titanic would stay afloat for no more than 2 hours. The message was clear. Lifeboats had to be loaded, and the passengers needed to prepare for evacuation. The Titanic had lifeboats for only about half of its passengers. Regulations at the time required lifeboats for only a fraction of the ship's capacity, based on the mistaken belief that modern ships were nearly unsinkable. Tragically, lifeboats were launched half full in the confusion, with women and children given priority, but many refused to leave the unsinkable Titanic. Meanwhile, passengers in third class faced locked gates and obstacles. Many struggled to reach the deck as the ship tilted ever more sharply, the freezing Atlantic water rushing in. As the minutes ticked by, the Titanic's bow slipped lower into the ocean. Passengers held on to whatever they could as screams filled the night. Around 2:20 a.m., the lights flickered and went out. The great ship broke apart, the stern rising out of the water before plunging into the icy depths. Only a few hundred people survived, most of them in the lifeboats. The freezing water claimed hundreds of lives, and the survivors huddled together, shocked and frozen. In the distance, they watched as the once mighty ship disappeared beneath the waves. The RMS Carpathia arrived hours later, rescuing the survivors from the lifeboats and offering warmth and hope. The world awoke to the shocking news that the unsinkable Titanic had sunk, taking more than 1,500 lives. The sinking of the Titanic left an indelible mark on history, sparking changes in maritime laws, safety standards, and our understanding of human limitations. The story of the Titanic endures not just as a tragedy, but as a reminder of the fragility of life, the cost of hubris, and the courage shown by so many on that fateful night. More than a century later, the Titanic's legacy lives on, a solemn tale from the depths of the ocean, reminding us to honor those who were lost and to carry forward the lessons learned from this unforgettable tragedy.